It's Creationist Coffee.
Hey there, YouTube. The Creationist Coffee here. Today we have an unusual topic. I have discovered, after many hours of careful study, that humans, in fact, are not mammals, and they must have been specifically created with no connection to other organisms. You may find this hard to believe because evolutionists have been pushing the humans are mammals nonsense even longer than they have the humans are apes nonsense. Despite this, I think I can show you why humans cannot be considered mammals. Let's start with the most obvious. Mammals are furry. In fact, they're the only truly furry animals that exist, besides some tarantulas. Humans, on the other hand, have no fur at all, and only a little bit of hair. Now you might say that humans have some fur, just a little bit, but that's not true. Fur is thick and used to help insulate the animal in question. Humans' body hair cannot do this. Besides, some humans grow very little body hair anyway, and none of them have fur like a mammal. Okay, so let's say that isn't enough to convince you. Fair enough. But what about the stance of humans and mammals? Mammals are quadrupeds. They walk on all four limbs. Even the ones with grasping hands still walk on those hands, like raccoons. No mammal walks like a human, not even the apes that humans are supposed to be closely related to, according to the evolutionists. Humans, though, walk effortlessly, balanced on just two legs. While there are other groups of animals, such as birds or dinosaurs, that are bipedal, they walk completely different than humans. For one thing, humans walk on their heels, whereas dinosaurs and birds walk on their toes. We have no heel-walking bipeds except for humans, so how can anyone think humans are mammals? Connected to this is the fact that all mammals have the Foramen Magnum at the back of the skull. This is the opening in the skull where the spinal cord emerges from the skull. Because humans are bipeds, unlike mammals, they have to have the spinal cord going down, but the eyes facing forward, so the Foramen Magnum is at the bottom back of the skull. But mammals, being quadrupeds, have their opening at the back of the skull because they hold their spine horizontal, or nearly so. Again, we have a giant gulf between humans and mammals. Sticking with the skull, we come to the teeth. While humans share some similarities with mammals in their teeth, there's one big giant difference. Mammals have canine teeth, which, granted, humans have too, but in humans these teeth are barely different from the incisors. Look at all these amazing fangs. Even deer have fangs. How can humans be mammals with those pathetic so-called canine teeth? Keeping again with the head, let's take another look at one of the huge differences between humans and mammals, their ears. Now, like mammals, humans do have cartilaginous ears, but not at all like mammals. Now, most people have had, or have met pet dogs or cats, so you're familiar with the way that mammals can swivel their ears to listen more carefully to whatever sound has piqued their interest. But it's not just some mammals. Look at all these animals, deer, rhinos, mice, etc. There is no explanation for why humans can't do this if they're mammals. Humans lack the complex array of muscles that allow mammals to swivel their ears, when in fact their ears aren't even on the top of their heads like of mammals, which is one of the reasons this works for mammals. Now, some evolutionists might say that humans simply lost this ability in their evolution, but I would remind them that that's losing something, not gaining something, so that's not evolution. Alright, we've been talking about the human head for a while, so let's shift back to limbs. Humans have fingers and toes that end in a flat, blunt nail, but mammals have claws or hooves, and hooves are just blunt claws. Now, you might not know the difference, but claws surround the last digit, called the ungule. Nails, on the other hand, grow out of only the top side of the digit, and are not naturally sharp, although I guess you could grow them out and then file them to a point. But that's not really what happens naturally. Now, you might be thinking that only animals like tigers and wolves have claws, but no. Rodents have claws, bats have claws, and as I discussed above, even hooves are just claws. So, if humans are mammals, they should have claws. They lack claws, so they are not mammals. Now let's go to another part of the body. Mammals have tails, which are very important to them. For example, mammals use tails for balance, for gripping trees, for even communication. Humans, though, they don't have tails. And even stories of people being born with tails invariably end up just being fatty tumors or skin takes near the posterior end of the spine, not real mammal tails. Just like with the ears, though, some evolutionists will say that humans simply lost their tails because they didn't need them. But I'll point out a couple things. One, a tail would be extremely handy. Ever struggled to get all the groceries in the house in one trip? You could take 50% more on each trip, so it's not like a tail couldn't help out humanity, even if they might have to redesign the chairs a bit. Second, losing something isn't evolution anyways. Evolutionists say we're getting bigger and better and smarter, so this isn't evidence of evolution. Now for the next couple items on this list of reasons humans can't be mammals, you might want to send the kids out of the room. Or if you're at work, maybe just skip to this time code to avoid an awkward talk with your boss. First up, breasts. Human females develop 2 large breasts, and males have the same tissues, it's just not usually developed. On the other hand, mammals have multiple teats. This is to help them with the large litters that they have, as opposed to the typical single births of humans. Further, mammal teats are only usually enlarged when they're actually nursing. Otherwise, they are not visibly distinct in male and female mammals. On the other hand, in the presence of large breasts is one of the most visibly noticeable differences between human males and females. If humans were mammals, they would have at least 6 teats, and they should not be normally enlarged in females unless they are nursing a baby. Also, humans probably wouldn't give birth to a single baby if they were mammals. Now, another difference related to reproduction is the human versus mammal penis. In the mammals, the penis is supported by a bone called the baculum, or os penis, Latin for stick, or baton in the former case, and simply penis bone in the latter case. Also, the mammal penis is held in a sheath of skin, a mucous membrane, called the penile sheath. Now here's a diagram of the anatomy of a human penis. Nowhere on here is there a bone, and as you can see, there is no sheath. Instead, the penis is simply exposed, and further, rather than being supported by a bone, it is normally simply left unsupported except when aroused, and it is supported by the corpora cavernosa, which will fill with blood. So again, despite some similarities between mammals and humans, it is clear that humans are quite separate from mammals. Where are the evolutionists on this? They don't even feel like they need to respond to this devastating evidence. Now we come to what is possibly the most devastating piece of evidence, which will prove that humans are not mammals. Humans use language, make tools, build cities, and can control fire. No mammals can do these things. There is no language of the polar bears to learn. There is no deer town to visit, where the inhabitants are all deer. Even chimpanzees, and the mammals supposedly closest to humans, do not sit around a campfire roasting marshmallows or anything else for that matter. There is a vast difference in the moral, emotional, and cognitive functions of humans and mammals. Mammals do not make works of art like scenes in the tombs of ancient Egypt, or the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, or the Tibetan mandala. The best they get is spraying a tree with urine to mark their territory. While there are other differences between humans and mammals, I think this list is enough to demonstrate that humans being mammals is just an evolutionary fairy tale. They might point to things like the jaw joint or the bare fact of milk production to make their case, but these are just rescue devices and don't all refute these points. Evolution is in trouble, and the evolutionists have no real arguments. They know it, and they don't even try. I'm not sure when I'll do another video on this general topic, but I might do one contesting the absurd idea that humans are vertebrates, or chordates, metazoans, philozoans, holozoans, opisthecons, or obozoans and unicontins, or most absurdly, eukaryotes. Clearly humans aren't any of these things, and if I have time and this video proves popular enough, I may bother to prove it to all those atheists out there. One last note is that I have dozens of papers that back me up on this from the evolutionists themselves. I will add them to the description later, but if you want, you can look them up yourself. Well, that's all for today. I hope you are well. I'm the Creationist Coffee.
Thanks for watching, but before you go, I'd like to take a second to thank my patrons and channel members, especially those pledging $20 or above: Ben Tovand, Ian Chen, Sphincter of Doom, Chris Love, Henry Hutanen, and Bob Knob. Their support helps make this channel possible, because as you may know, YouTube is a very volatile platform, and they give this channel much needed additional stability. If you'd like to join the team, a link to my Patreon page can be found in the description, and you can join with the button right below this video on YouTube. Both groups of people get access to my special patron and member-only Discord channel, links to new videos before I release them to the public, as well as a pretty direct line to me. They also often are asked to do things like vote on new video topics. If a monthly subscription isn't something that you'd like to do but you'd still like to help out the channel, I also have a Teespring store that has Dapper Dino merch, including mugs, blankets, pillowcases, shirts, all sorts of things. And if none of those things are for you, then please just remember to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and share the video. All of those things really do help the channel grow. Well, I'm the Dapper Dinosaur.
You found the skeleton. How would you tell it's a dinosaur? You personally, how would you decide?
Well, interesting question. I don't know. I'd have to do some research on that.